Okay, we'll start with this. The good people at the Adams Boxing Show recently chimed in on Clarissa's expressed interest to box Rolly Romero because she believes that she can beat Rolly Romero. They said Claressa saying she could beat Rolly Romero in a boxing match is just bravado. It's not to be taken serious.
Well, people don't take her serious, but that doesn't mean that she's not serious.
Women's professional boxers can beat untrained men, but not professional men boxers. To which Claressa responded, "I'd smoke him. On my mama."
Oh shit, not on her mama.
Thank God he blessed me with a vagina. A lot of these guy boxers would be good as whooped. August 15th, I win again.
Yeah, that's the thing. Talking about beating Rolly gets more people talking than actually beating Kay Scotch. If you're observant, this is something that Claressa periodically does. She periodically brings up beating Rolly Romero in a boxing match. You could almost interpret it as a means of promotion, but that doesn't make it any less disrespectful. Former cruiserweight champion Enzo Maccarinelli responded to this by saying every time she mentions beating men, she always mentions Rolly. He should take her on the offer. That disrespect is wild.
During a big women's boxing boom of the last decade or so, you never saw any of the other prominent women boxers with a lot of visibility resorting to what Claressa does. You never saw Cecilia Brækhus or Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano.
You never saw them doing shit like this.
Michaela Mayer, Alicia Baumgartner, none of them. Just Claressa.
You never saw them doing shit like this.
Just Claressa. And for as many times as she's said this, for as many years as she'd said it, I don't even think that people would get mad at Rolly if he said, "You know what, Claressa?
What?
Why not? Let's spar. I'm not gonna hold nothing back. I'm not gonna pull no punches."
You mentioned me, right?
Rolly Romero has never said an ill word about Claressa Shields. These public attacks are all unprovoked. To the point, if Rolly up and decided to take her up on her offer, whether it's in a sparring session or an actual professional boxing match, and he didn't hold back, he fought her the same as he would a man, I don't think people would hold it against him. The reason he doesn't.
Society normally frowns upon men striking women for all of this feminism, all of this equality talk. All of that goes out the window when it becomes painfully apparent that men are physically stronger than women, on average. Claressa Shields could land a 5-punch combination on Rolly and not leave a scratch on him, whereas he only has to hit her once.
Doesn't even have to be in the face either. He could hit her in the midsection and break her fucking ribs, and maybe that's what it's gonna take for her to shut the fuck up. The reason she doesn't is because she doesn't expect Rolly to do anything about it. She knows what the societal norms are, that he's not actually at liberty to defend himself.
So what does that say about a person who constantly attacks someone who can't defend themselves?
At least in her own mind, Rolly can't defend himself. She's not expecting him to take her up on her offer, so she does it even more. People are saying what Enzo Maccarinelli is saying is, you know what, for as many times as she does this, give her what she wants.
Unfucking believable that by year's end, the two best ambassadors for this sport, Katie and Amanda, will have hung the gloves up, and this piece of shit,
This ratchet is what we're gonna be left with.
this ghetto garbage.
I mean, let's just say, for argument's sake, that she really is the greatest woman of all times, and the best female boxer that ever did it. I don't believe any of this, but just for conversation, let's say all of that is true. Is that supposed to be a pass?
Is that supposed to make this behavior okay? She's not a little kid, but she behaves like one.
She's what, 31? Going on 32 years old? What kind of a situation is it where Rolly Romero is being the bigger person? He's being the mature one. How immature do you have to be for that to be the case?
So let's say that she really is the greatest woman of all times and the best female boxer in the sport right now. It wouldn't take a lot for a male boxer to go in there and knock her block off, as Artur Amatov's did.
And he wasn't a world-class boxer. He had less than a handful of fights when he sparred her and sat her on her back pocket.
That's what Artur did. And Rolly knocked out Artur, so him knocking you out...
Ask around. Most men, myself included, do not condone violence against women. But is it really out of line to say that Claressa Shields, more than anybody else, is asking for it?
Not figuratively, literally.
So would it be so wrong if one of these guys she loves to talk down gave her what she wants, whether it's Rolly Romero or Keith Thurman? You don't have to use a light heavyweight on her. Super middle, a middle, you can get a couple of guys who regularly campaigned at welter And I promise you, it'll be a humbling experience.
Because she's taken it to a point where if Rolly gave her what she wanted and knocked her block off, I don't think that many people would hold it against him, no.
Some might frown upon it, but the people who have been paying attention and know how long this has been going on and that it's all unprovoked.
They'd be okay with it.
It's not about taking her down a peg for being a woman boxer. It's not about belittling her abilities, but why does she get to belittle Rolly's?
This is a humiliation tactic. You know it is. That's why none of the other women do this. Why does she?
She's using Rolly's good nature and traditional values against him by publicly calling him out, knowing that he won't entertain her, where there are other men who don't have any problem striking a woman, fighting a woman, and she doesn't bring them up. She brings up Rolly because she knows he won't do it.
Relying on societal norms to prevent this from coming to a head.
But as stated, this has gone on for so long that at this point, if Rolly decided to entertain her and he knocked her fucking block off,
he'd get a standing ovation. I think people would be okay with it. Eat shit, bitch!
Elsewhere in the world of boxing, Top Rank's thin DAZN schedule tells half the story. We've seen some of Top Rank's fighters here and there on DAZN shows, but we haven't seen a whole lot of Top Rank shows. Shows specifically promoted by them. Top Rank has only promoted 2 on DAZN since announcing its new broadcast agreement 5 months ago.
2 shows in 5 months. Sheesh.
But several of its fighters have stayed active on cards run by other promoters. That offers an early look at how Top Rank can operate within a platform already carrying much of boxing's promotional talent. Darshan Desai of Uncrowned highlighted the unusual arrangement Wednesday when examining DAZN's schedule. Raymond Murataya fought Robson Conceição on a Golden Boy show earlier this month. Top Rank fighters Albert Gonzalez and Samuel Contreras competed on a Matchroom show in July, and Giovanni Santillan takes another route when he faces Abbas Baru on September 11th in a Pro Box headliner. Since then, it's been announced that Abbas Baru has been picked up by Top Rank.
Likely because Top Rank expects Abbas Baru to win.
Building a full show requires considerably more than placing a fighter on an existing lineup. Opponents require negotiation, purses need settling, and organizers must assemble a complete event around the roster. How costs are divided under Top Rank's agreement with DAZN has not been made public. Working alongside Golden Boy or Matchroom gives Top Rank flexible alternatives. Both outfits work extensively with DAZN, reducing the traditional network barriers that historically complicated cross-promotional deals. Top Rank still has plenty of incentive to stage its own events when a leading fighter can anchor a marquee card. The proposed welterweight title bout between Devin Haney and Keyshawn Davis would have provided another major date before Davis declined the WBO's process. Whatever the reason for Top Rank's limited number of DAZN dates, so far, its fighters are finding work without waiting for the promoter to build an entire show around them.
Cost effectiveness and cost feasibility. It costs them less to rent out their fighters than to do a whole show and build it around them.
Which wouldn't be so bad except the recent news of DAZN's upcoming price hikes in the month of September. You're not actually getting that many more shows than what you were getting before, but the excuse is supposed to be that because now they have Top Rank and now they have PBC, the monthly price and the packages are all going up, where the schedule looks sort of the same.
Look at last week. Neither Golden Boy, Top Rank, or PBC did a show during primetime hours last weekend.
I think Boxer did a show in the afternoon, but that hardly accommodates an American audience.
Then think about this weekend. Neither Golden Boy, Top Rank, or the PBC have a show this weekend. All they've really got going on is Claressa Shields' fight, and I'm sorry, but for what a DAZN subscription costs, whether it's month to month or annually, the basic package or the ultimate tier,
It isn't worth it.
the price is going up because you're supposedly getting more, but what are you getting more of? More paywalls? More pay-per-views?
That's what I say.
The way I see it, with all these different promoters that are now on DAZN, there shouldn't be a weekend that isn't fully loaded, because you've got all the big-time promoters from the UK, all the big-time promoters in the US, to where you should be covered from the afternoon into the evening every weekend in the month. What this motherfucker costs. Sort of reminds me of the old saying, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Myself and other fight fans here on the channel used to want for all of these major promotional outfits to land on the same platform.
They eventually did.
Because we thought in doing so, that would take care of all the bureaucratic red tape that holds up fights, those political boundary lines. There wouldn't be any if they're all on the same platform. And we thought that if everybody's in the same space, you would get a fully loaded schedule of fights month to month, but that's not what we're seeing. Now maybe we need to give DAZN a little bit more time, because Top Rank and PBC and Boxer only just arrived on the platform. They haven't actually been there that long.
What about the pricing?
It is true. DAZN's pricing is becoming increasingly harder to defend. What you're paying month to month or annually versus what you're actually getting.
There are a lot of people who just don't see the value, not when most of the good content and the solid fights are hidden behind a second paywall. So everybody landing on the same platform isn't what people thought it would be.
Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And we got it. Almost everybody's on DAZN now.
Perhaps it's just my perception of things, though. I'm not seeing it in the schedule. I'm not feeling it. When all of these different promotional outfits were spread apart on different platforms, the schedule actually felt busier. At times, you'd have 2 shows happening at the same time, and you had to pick which one you wanted to watch.
Whereas now,
It's the second weekend in a row where Golden Boy doesn't have a show, neither does Top Rank, neither does the PBC, but they're all on the same platform. You would have thought, all of them being there, they'd get their heads together and come up with a comprehensive schedule of fights month to month, so that a weekend doesn't go by where somebody's not doing a show. Ideally, that's how it would work. Consistent fights, weekend to weekend, to keep the subscribers subscribing. That really isn't what we're getting. Now, they do have a diverse catalog of sports overall, but a lot of people, at least all the ones I know, they're on DAZN for the boxing.
maybe it's different in other markets, but I believe in America, that's what DAZN is most known for. The boxing.
Americans aren't there for the rugby or the snooker.
Darts.
They're not there for pickleball. They're there for boxing, and I just feel like even though all these promoters have converged on the same platform, the schedule is still coming up short. And for what this app is costing,
Too fucking much.
way too much. The regular schedule should be a lot stronger. Not the box office fights, not the stuff you gotta pay extra for, but the regular stuff.
Pardon me for saying so, but there's not enough of it.
Men's super featherweight news. An insider named Vasyl Lomachenko's first rival after returning to the ring, presumably this fall. Well-known Ukrainian boxing insider, the author of the channel Tyke Mason, Max Didenko, said that the first rival of the Ukrainian lightweight former world champion Vasyl Lomachenko after his return to the ring will be the leader of the WBO rating in the second lightweight Charlie Suarez. This sheds light on the fact that Vasyl Lomachenko will move down in weight. As far as I understand, the idea is to defeat the applicant, become a contender, and box with the champion Emmanuel Navarette, who owns the WBO and IBF titles, and in the foreseeable future, he can take the third title. That is, Vasily can potentially get the owner of 2 or even 3 titles as rivals. There is a quick way to undisputed, Didenko wrote.
The goal that remained elusive for Vasyl Lomachenko across not 2, but 3 divisions. He didn't get to do it at feather, super feather, or lightweight, but here in the twilight years of his career, if he plays his cards right, he may get another crack at the apple. The corresponding rumor of a unification match between the 2 champions, Emmanuel Navarette and O'Shaquie Foster, a fight that's rumored to be worked on for October.
The 24th, more specifically. If they can get that fight over the line, just imagine that Vasyl Lomachenko is taking care of Charlie, who is Emmanuel's mandatory challenger, while Emmanuel pursues a 3rd alphabet title. And irrespective of who wins, Emmanuel or O'Shaquie, Vasyl Lomachenko gets the winner. Will the WBO be a problem?
I don't think so.
I think the WBO is a little bit sweet on Vasyl Lomachenko, that they may not get in the way of this thing. If Charlie Suarez is willing to fight him, and it looks like he is,
It's not like they're fucking him over, right?
passing him over, if he decides to put his mandatory status on the line against Loma willingly,
It's not like they're fucking him over, right?
Vasyl Lomachenko has not fought in approximately 2 years, could be a little bit more than that the night of, presumably in the fall or winter months. But a fight with Charlie, if he can win it, It's a bit better than a tune-up fight, wouldn't you say? Charlie Suarez isn't just an unbeaten up-and-comer. He's a bona fide world-class contender who, to a lot of people, should have beat Emmanuel Navarette, if not for that technicality involving cuts.
Vasyl Lomachenko's career so far has been a bit of a contentious subject here on the channel. Some people feel that he's had a Hall of Fame-worthy career so far based on both his amateur and professional accolades, whereas for me, the resume falls a little bit short of the mark. I don't look at Loma's wins over Rocky Martinez and Jorge Linares, Jose Pedraza, as being all that noteworthy.
Just being honest, he probably can get into the Hall of Fame when he retires, but for me, the resume's a bit thin, so that if he comes back and finally becomes an undisputed champion, collects that last brass ring, I would say that's the missing puzzle piece in his resume. You're talking about approximately 3 fights. The one with Charlie Suarez in the fall, the winner of Foster versus Navarette next year, then presumably Anthony Cacace.
Chimichanga?
He would be the last remaining champion, holding the last puzzle piece to the undisputed crown, likely using it as leverage to get a nice-sized purse.
And he would lose.
He would lose to Emmanuel Navarette. He would lose to O'Shaquie Foster. I think he would lose to Charlie Suarez. So if you're talking about a situation where Vasyl Lomachenko runs this gauntlet, beats Charlie, beats the winner of Navarette versus Foster, I'd say he's got more than enough left to beat Cacace. You're fairy-tailing the hell out of this thing, but in a scenario like that, Loma would be the favorite.
That's a fairy tale scenario for Loma.
What still remains a mystery is who is the orchestrator of his ring return, as it would have taken a sizable sum of cash to bring Loma out of retirement after 2 years.
A lot of money.
Now, almost immediately, Zuffa Boxing and TKO come to mind. That would be my first choice as to who's behind Vasyl Lomachenko's ring return. If it's anybody, I think it's them. But Base the Kid, a friend of the channel, also speculated that it could be the IBA.
That's a good shout. They do have a lot of money. The IBA that used to oversee all of the amateur boxing but lost recognition from the IOC and thus are now throwing their hat in the ring of professional boxing, staging their own matches.
As nobody believes Loma is now coming out of retirement to box under the Top Rank banner for Top Rank money, it would have taken a sizable sum to bring him back to boxing, and that could only be coming from either Zuffa or the IBA, since the article itself doesn't detail who's supposed to be promoting him now.
That errant mystery that remains a mystery.
Vasyl Lomachenko was very good in his time, but you have to wonder at this age, and having been out this long, does he still have what it takes to compete at this level? There's only one way to find out.